Hi, I'm Christa Jacobson, headmistress of the Budo, where we teach authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. In today's video, we're going to be looking at the 6 tools of the ninja. These particular tools were written in the Shoninki in 1681 by Natori Masatake. Now, before we begin and start looking at some of these Shinobi tools, I always give a shout out to all of my new viewers. So if this is the first video that you guys have seen of me, my name is Christa Jacobson. I am the headmistress of the Budo, which means School of the Warrior Way. We teach Koryu Ninjutsu and Koryu Bujutsu, which is the ancient martial arts of the ninja and samurai. This organization does have other areas of focus, such as reality-based self-defense, weapons training and tactics, survival skills, concealed carry, martial arts theory, thought and philosophy, martial arts conditioning. If any of those subjects at all interest you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to click the bell. I do post 2 to 3 videos every single week. So if you're interested in any of those topics, please subscribe, click the bell, and keep up with what we're doing. So today we're going to be looking at the 6 tools of the ninja. Now again, these tools come from the Shoninki, and the common term for these particular 6 tools in the Shoninki is the Shinobi Rokugu. Now, I want to give a little bit of background information on these particular 6 tools, discuss the 6 tools, why they carried them, how they would actually be used, and I also want to talk about some of the principles and strategies that I teach from these 6 tools and apply them to this particular organization. So to start, when we're looking at tools, it's very important that you guys understand the different areas of weapons and tools within Koryu. So you have buki, which are conventional weapons of arms. So it's like a sword, a bow and arrow, a spear. That would be a buki. Then you have what's called kakushi buki, and kakushi buki are concealed weapons or hidden weapons. Again, those are still weapons. They're meant to be a weapon, so it'd be like a hidden knife, maybe a shuriken, something along those lines. It's a hidden or a concealed weapon that you have and someone doesn't know that you have it. And then you have what's called ninki, which are shinobi tools. And those are tools that the ninja use on their mission to help aid and complete the objective. So if you're studying Koryu, you understand the 3 different fundamental areas of weapons and tools. Buki, conventional weapons, kakushi buki, concealed or hidden weapons, and ninki, which are ninja tools or shinobi tools used for the mission. Ninki was not meant to be a weapon, it's meant to be a tool used on a mission. And today we're going to be looking at ninki, or ninja tools. And that's what we have here today. Now before we get into these tools here, let's talk about the Shoninki. Again, the Shoninki was written in 1681 by Natori Masatake, and in the ninjutsu community it is known as one of the 3 treasures. And what I mean by that is there are 3 historical texts on ninjutsu that's left to the public domain. So if you are a ninjutsu practitioner and you're studying with a particular school or organization or ryuha, these 3 particular texts of the Shoninki, the Nippiden, and the Bansenshukai are something that you should be adding to your study, because these texts, the tradition died out, but we still have these historical documents that we can still read and learn from and apply those lessons and strategies to what we do today. And the reason for this is that the majority of ninjutsu students in the modern day are part of some form of Ninpo organization, and they're part of a living tradition. And there are still traditions out there that are being taught today and still exist. An example, one of the traditions we have here in the Budo is Tomoryu. So even though we have various traditions within the Budo that we try to focus and study on, we still try to study texts and documents and history outside of the traditions to better understand what happened at that time and to give us a deeper sense of knowledge. This is why the Shoninki, the Nippiden, and the Bansenshukai is so important. All 3 of these particular texts are left in the public domain. They're not really part of any one specific school or organization or tradition because the lineage itself died out. So anyone who is studying ninjutsu and wants to understand a deeper aspect of ninjutsu and look at it from a historical perspective should be applying these 3 particular texts to their training. Now I will make a video later on called The 3 Treasures, and I'll discuss further in depth on my opinions when it comes to the study of the Shoninki, the Nippiden, and the Bansenshukai. Now today we're going to be looking at these 6 particular tools from the Shoninki, called the Shinobi Rokugu. Now earlier we talked about the 3 areas of weapons and tools within Koryu: Buki, Kakushi Buki, and Ninki. These 6 tools are Ninki that are found within the Shoninki. Now when you're looking at the curriculum in the Budo, you would look at this particular lesson at the 8th kyu, and the lesson is called Shinobi Rokugu. Now many times you have people online that'll say the 6 tools of the ninja are, and then they list these 6 particular tools. And that's all well and good to a particular point, but the reality of it is these are not the only 6 tools of the ninja. I look at this particular lesson within our curriculum as these are 6 tools of the ninja. These are not the 6 tools of the ninja. And let me explain why I come to that point, okay? As you guys know, I have hundreds of scrolls here within the dojo. I collect them, I translate scrolls, I share my knowledge with my students. And if you just look at the 3 treasures alone, which we talk about the Ninpo-den, the Bansen-shikai, and the Shoninki. In the Shoninki, they list these 6 particular tools, but in the Ninpo-den, they list lots more tools that are not here, right? And then in the Bansen-shikai, they list even more tools that are not in the Ninpo-den or here in the Shoninki. So it's very important to understand that these are not the only 6 tools of the ninja. These are just 6 tools that can be used when a ninja goes on their mission. Okay, another thing that's very important to understand is the 6 tools that we're going to talk about today are extremely common within Japanese culture of the time. And it's also very important to understand that the 6 items that we're going to be talking about today can be used in a variety of different ways and for a variety of different reasons. You would want to take things on a mission that you could use many different ways, many different reasons, because you never know what situation may happen. So you wouldn't want to take an item that you could only use it in this setting for this one particular thing. You would want to take items that you could use a variety of different ways, in a variety of different situations, for a variety of different reasons, okay? And that's exactly what these 6 tools give us when we're reading the information from the Shoninki. Now the 6 tools that's mentioned in the Shoninki is the Amigasa, the Kaginawa, the Sekihitsu, the Uchitake, the Kasuri, and the Sanjaku Tenugui. These are the 6 tools that are mentioned in the Shoninki. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go right to left, and I'm just going to kind of talk about each one of these tools and give you guys a variety of different ways that they would have used them, and different reasons and situations as well, okay? The first particular one we're going to look at here is the Amigasa, which is a straw hat. I think this goes kind of without really much description here. You wear hats so you can kind of conceal your identity from, people walking by, kind of keeps the rain or whatever. You can protect yourself from the elements. There's a variety of different reasons why you would wear a hat. But again, you would want to have multiple uses. So outside of just wearing it on your head to protect you from the sun or the elements, or you can kind of tip it down and, when you walk by to kind of conceal your face, if you will, if you didn't want people to know your identity as you're walking through a crowd. Another thing that I think is kind of important to really understand with an Amigasa is a straw hat. And just from a basic understanding of straw, it's really dry grass. And we know the ninja caught things on fire, so you already have, in survival training we talk about a bird's nest or creating a bird's nest and then putting the tinder and things like that in it to make a fire. And I think this is just kind of, you already have something here, you take off your hat, if you're getting underneath some sort of a residence or something you're trying to catch on fire, you already have something that you can stick down, stick your tinder or whatever in it, start it on fire, and stick it where it needs to go. You've already got a bunch of dry grass right here, right? So there's lots of different ways that you would use the Amigasa, but generally speaking, on the head, protection from elements and identity, but there are other reasons for it, okay? So there's the Amigasa. The next thing we're going to look at is the Kaginawa. The Kaginawa is a hooked rope, and obviously you would use this for climbing. I think that's the most common tool that you would use it for. But other things that you could use this for is if you needed to, throw it over a horse and kind of rope it over and get on top of a horse and get away, or if you're inside a residence, you could use it to kind of keep doors shut and tie them tight so that someone on the outside can't open the door while you're inside doing what you're doing. You can use it to tie people up. There's numerous ways that you could use cordage as a spy or as a ninja. So yeah, I mean, again, conventionally it's used for climbing, but it's a tool that can be used for a variety of different reasons. So there is the Kaginawa. Now the next one we're looking at is the Tsukivitsu. Now the Tsukivitsu is basically like a stone pencil. And I know a lot of people talk about the yatate, and I have a yatate right here. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Being, one of the 6 tools. The Sekihitsu is the one that is actually mentioned in the Shoninki. And what's kind of an important aspect of the Sekihitsu is that it's a stone pencil. It's kind of like slate. And the reason I think it's kind of an important aspect to understand this slate, right, is if you had to write some sort of like a secret message, right, you could easily write something here, something like that, and you just keep walking. Well, someone could walk by, they know where the message is supposed to be. All they would have to do is just wipe it off. It's almost like chalk, right? But the Sekihitsu, this particular stone, it doesn't, like if you leave chalk outside when it rains, you guys know it pretty much disintegrates. This doesn't disintegrate in the water, at least not rain. I mean, if you throw it in the water, maybe, but it's going to keep its form, you know, even if it's in some sort of moist environment. So again, the Tsukivitsu is an idea. It's basically like a stone pencil, if you will, and it's a way that you can write, you know, like I said, secret codes, and you can go somewhere else, and then someone else can get the code, whatever that means, and then they could wipe it off, and then maybe the next day you could walk by, you would notice that it's all wiped away on wherever it is that you wrote, and you would know that the message and the information that you took or you was trying to give to someone was received. Now the next tool that we're going to be looking at is the Uchitake. Now the Uchitake is a kind of like a lighter, a 15th century lighter, if you will. It's a fire tool, and what you would do is you would have a rope like this, because the inside is going to be on fire, it's going to be hot. So you would wear this kind of around and kind of hanging on the saya of the sword. That way as you move, the air kind of goes through the holes and kind of keeps the fire going. And on the inside, you have a little tube here, and as you pull that out, it's like you have a little match on the end of it there, and you just keep it lit. And you would blow on it, kind of like it'll bead up really quick, really red up on you, and then you can use that to start fires. So you just keep basically a lit wick with you the whole time. Now the copper cylinder that's inside of it is going to help keep it warm, and also with the air flow, you have holes here and holes here. That way, as you're running, the air kind of goes through. It gives it enough oxygen to keep it lit, but it doesn't give it too much to where it puts it out. So that is your Uchitake. Sometimes at the end you'll see them with like flint steel at the end, so that you can use the steel and strike it, so you can get some sort of a strike effect if you wanted to start a fire as well. But this is what you see as a Uchitake. The next particular tool that we're going to be looking at is the Kusuri. And the Kasuri is just a medicine pack right here. And inside you would hold lots of medicine. I mean, stomach problems were really big back then, so they would have things for stomach problems. You would keep any medicine for anything, like in case you had an illness, but you'd also keep things like poisons, anti-poisons, things like that. So it's like this was basically a medicine pack, or something you would keep filled medicine in. And again, you would also wear this in your obi, and would just kind of hang down. And that's something that would be easily used, very common tool for the time, and you would just keep whatever poisons, anti-poisons, medicines, whether it's medicine for injury or medicine for sickness, you would just keep that in your Kusuri. The next tool that we're going to be looking at is the Sanjaku Tenugui. This is the cloth. This is something that I think is also one of the more common things that you see in the ninja community. Obviously, you can make a mask with it. You can roll it out and make a mask. You can wrap it over your face this way and tie off to conceal your identity. You can use it to tie things up if you need to tie things up together, whether it's your swords at night when you're sleeping. If someone attacks you and this is all you have, you can stick something in it and kind of use it as a weapon to attack back, like a rock. You stick a rock in it and swing it around and hit someone. There's just so many things that you can use the Sanjaku Tenugui for. The type of wood that is used to dye it is the sappan tree, and that has a lot of antibacterial properties in it. And you can use the Sanjaku Tenugui to kind of disinfect, or at least filter the water that you're going to be drinking from rivers or ponds or things like that. You know, I'm probably not as safe as boiling it, to be honest with you, but they did, you know, filter their water through the Sanjaku Tenugui as well. So again, when looking at these 6 particular tools, Amigasa, clearly you'd wear it on your head to protect yourself from the elements, the sun, etc. But you could also, you know, conceal your identity. You can use it as kind of a makeshift, you know, ball of tinder or bowl for your tinder to start something on fire. Lots of different uses here. Kaginawa, again, usually used for climbing, but you could also use it for a variety of other things, like tying doors shut, tying if you capture criminals, you know, lots of things that you could use this particular tool for. Sekihitsu, again, writing secret codes, writing notes, unlimited things that you can use something as a writing implement, okay? Another common thing that they said, or earlier I talked about the yatate, we're going to get to that in just a second. Uchitake is a fire starter. I mean, there's so many things you could use for fire for, whether it's cooking your food, disinfecting water, smoke signals, you know, catching something on fire. So the Uchitake could be used for a variety of different things. The Kasuri is a field kit, but you know, you would keep things in there for a variety of reasons itself. Again, poisons, anti-poisons, medicine for injury, medicine for sickness, anything along those lines would be in your Kasuri. And then in the Sanjaku Tenugui, the cloth, again, the more common way is to wrap it around your face to conceal your identity, or you could use it to tie up your swords at night and kind of keep it close to you. Tie up anything, to be quite honest with you. You can use it, like I said, to kind of make a makeshift improvised weapon if you need it. You can use it to filter your water. Again, all of these items, whether it's the Amigasa, the Kaginawa, the Sekihitsu, the Uchitake, the Kusuri, or the Sanjaku Tenugui, all of these particular tools are very common for the time and have a variety of different uses in a variety of different situations. Now over here you see another example of the Amigasa, and this is called a kuragasa, which is a black hat, right? And again, you know, it's just, again, another way to keep darker colors. Depending on what the situation is, you might want to have a different color of a straw hat. But if you paint it black, it's called a kuragasa, or a black hat, right? But same sort of situation. Again, you would use it for a variety of different reasons, to conceal from the elements, conceal your identity, etc. Again, it's straw, so it's dead grass, and you're going to be able to, you know, put it upside down, put a bunch of combustibles in there, strike your Uchitake or light it on fire, and it's going to go up. So again, you know, just another variation of the straw hat that we see, and that's called, this is the black hat version, and it's called the kuragasa. This is another tool that we want to kind of talk about here. It's called the yatate. It's another tool that people tend to talk about in the ninja community. And the yatate is a specific tool that's used as a writing implement. So you would always carry paper with you and things like that to take notes. Maybe your job as a ninja is to go and to gather information and get notes on the enemy's, the territory and the ins and the outs and how many buildings or how many people or whatever. Obviously, with if that's your job and that's your mission, you know, the Sekihitsu wouldn't be quite as good, because that's something that, you know, you use more like a piece of chalk. You wouldn't really write notes with it. The yatate is something that, you know, you can carry inside the kimono. You open it up. On the inside, there's a little brush that you pull out. You dip it inside the ink, and then you can write your notes on a paper. Yeah, and then that way, no matter what you're trying to write, whether it's, you know, whatever the information is, you just stick it back inside the carry case here. Shut it up, and there you got your basically an ink pen, if you will, and you can put it in here. So, which this tool is much different than that of this Sekihitsu, but again, it would have been, you know, another tool that would have been used. I think it's important to look at this particular lesson, the 6 tools, is these are 6 tools. These are common tools used, and to me it's more of teaching people to understand ninjutsu than it is that you have to take these 6 tools. And again, I just want to, you know, reiterate the reason I come up with that is because when you look at the Bansenshukai, or you look at the Ninpo, or any of the other ninjutsu scrolls that I have within my collection, there's so many different tools, so many different usages, so many different techniques and reasons of why using them. These are not the only 6 tools, although some people like 6 tools of the ninja. And these are the 6 tools mentioned in the Shoninki in 1681 by Natori Masatake. I mean, that's as far as you're going to go with it. And it's a much more, in my opinion, the 6 tools gives us a more opportunity to look deeper within ninjutsu and not look at these 6 tools very shallow, like these are the only 6. But anyway, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the 6 tools with you guys. Again, the 6 tools was written in the Shoninki, which is a copy here. The Shoninki was written in 1681 by Natori Masatake. The 6 tools is commonly referred to as the Shinobi Rokugu, and those are the 6 tools. Those 6 tools mentioned again are the Amigasa, the Kaginawa, the Tsukivitsu, the Uchitake, the Kasuri, and the Sanjaku Tenugui. Thank you guys very much for all of your love and support. Again, please subscribe to the channel if you guys are interested in historical ninjutsu. If you guys are interested in training in authentic ninjutsu and classical samurai bujutsu, please check out the website at www.budo-ninjutsu.com. There you guys can see the 7 traditions, the areas of training, the philosophies and strategies that we have, that we teach. If you guys do not live next to one of our schools, you guys can always join the Budo online ninjutsu dojo, and you guys can start training that way. So again, thank you guys very much for your love and support. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, take care, be safe, and good luck in your journey of Budo. Bye.